Community connections, CKMS, local sounds, thoughts, passions, and success. Celebrate local, your neighbor's got a story to tell. Community connections, CKMS.
Happy Friday, Waterloo Region. You're listening to CKMS Community Connections for the 20th of June, 2025. In the studio with me are the Rottweilers. Hello, guys.
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Have them on the air in just a few minutes. Going to listen to one of their tracks called Desert Caravan. Welcome to CKMS Community Connections, Rottweilers. That was Desert Caravan. Quite the tune.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Very welcome.
Again.
You're very welcome. It's a good tune. It starts off nice and quiet. Lots of intro to let me talk all over it.
Yeah.
And then it takes off.
Yeah, man.
You said you open shows with that? That's
our main opener. Yeah. We like to. We kind of feel like it sets like the overall tone for what you can expect throughout our set, at least for like the first half of the set, you know, and then we fly into like older songs, which get a little more just punk rather than like rock, you know.
I mean? I've got you down in the genre here as psychedelic punk metal.
Yeah, so
That works.
I guess if you want to call it that.
works. Yeah, we break it down. We get a little trippy.
Yeah.
We've got lots of pedals and stuff.
Yeah, we cover all those bases pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we don't really know what to call it.
Yeah.
though. It's just
And-
Rottweilers.
As we go through your discography today, we'll hit a bunch of different styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Big
is that developing as you're going, or have you picked something
Yes.
and
100%.
Yeah.
Every time we come up with something new, it's always like, oh, what's the next sound?
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
the next thing we can incorporate?
We're
It's
always
always
trying to be
evolving.
fresh.
Right?
Yeah.
Trying to evolve. Yeah.
no one Rottweiler's signature style yet?
No, not really, man.
I think the signature's the attitude about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really, I feel like our writing is just really based on like whatever we're feeling in that moment, and that's what comes out. Whether it be like a twangier song or just something fast and short, you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
just. We don't like to limit ourselves to nothing really. We're
Yeah.
trying to fit in with nothing.
Just
You
gotta
know,
think
like
outside the box. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
We don't
As
like
long
to
as
put
it
in a
rings
box.
true
Yeah.
to how you're feeling. That's
So
all.
how do you market that? How do you say to a club, this is what we do and this is what you can expect when we play for them?
We're still learning that.
Yeah,
We're still
good
figuring
point.
that out.
They
big
just
time.
say we play punk,
Yeah.
and then they're like, okay.
Yeah, we usually lead with punk and then,
Yeah.
And then we fool them.
Okay. So you're more of a punk metal psychedelic band rather than a psychedelic punk metal band.
Kind of, man, because it's interesting, man. Like,
It's hard to pinpoint.
because this guy's like, he's got like 3 different like solo death metal projects. Our drummer
Yeah.
Claudio,
Yeah, it's
and
like-
so he does a lot of like metal stuff. And then
Right.
Mo, he's like a big country guy. Like
Yeah, I
old
love
school
country, folk
dude.
music. Hank Williams, the first.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But then he also gets into like he really likes Iggy Pop and Descendants. They both love Descendants
Yeah,
and stuff like
Descendants.
that. And then and reggae, like they're big into
Yeah.
reggae.
Yeah.
Dude. Like
No
holy-
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
everything has its
especially
place
this guy.
for us,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say.
Yeah, the
I like all kinds of
inspirations are
music.
kind of everywhere, man. Like we pull from different sources, and
So
Yeah.
that's got to open up more venues for you, rather than
would think
cutting it out
so.
because
Think
you're
so,
not
yeah.
aligning with a particular venue style.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we just got to reach out a little more. yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you go about getting the gigs?
Well, a lot of the time, I've been starting to
This guy.
organize gigs for us lately. So what I've been doing is just email a venue. I'll message them over Facebook, Instagram, and email, and hopefully get a response with dates. And then once I get a date, I just start looking around Instagram for bands, and if I think you're interesting, I'll put you on. If I've never heard of you, you know what I mean. As long as I'm if you can vibe with the Rotties, if it looks like you're having fun and you're not too serious, hell,
That's
we'll
it.
put
Yeah.
you on. Dude.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's what we're looking for, man.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No third party manager. You haven't hired a publicity
Nah.
company. Nothing.
No.
We actually, our show last night at the Union was for, is it Black Throne?
Black Throne, yeah.
Black
Black
Throne
Throne
Productions, and they weren't sure what to expect from us. But shout out to Ryan, he came out to us after, and he's like, "You guys rocked the room, man." So there is a potential not necessarily getting signed to any label, but getting connected with
Good.
he's like, I have lots of connections, so just let me know what you guys want, and
Yeah.
we can branch out from there. So that was kind of our first serious foot in the door moment.
Yeah.
Was last night.
Really?
He's like
So,
the first
yeah,
person
yeah.
to actually approach us and
From a
ask us
production
about that.
company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry we didn't get you on a little bit sooner, so we could have done some promo for you.
Hey, that's
for,
okay.
last
That's
night.
all
But
right,
no,
man.
today is the promo for the next gig.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
July
Which
18th,
is
Red
that?
Papaya.
July
Yeah, man.
A Friday night, no excuses not to be there.
There you
Remind
go.
me of that later on in the show, because I'll get that down in the show notes.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool, but yeah.
So I met you guys,
Yep.
back in March sometime, and you were playing for a gig of ours at Ouroboros Sports Lounge.
Yes, sir.
And that was a good night. I mean,
Yeah.
I
It was a hell
enjoyed
of
the
a night.
music. Turns out that wasn't the universal opinion across the board.
Not really.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately
man.
not.
Slugs of Mars, they're awesome.
They're really
dude. I
good,
couldn't
yeah.
believe that they.
They were
I
loud.
really- yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. They
but,
shut them down.
They are
Yeah.
core metal, they're metal all the way through.
All
Yep,
the way,
yep.
man.
Yep.
Heavy.
Death
And they're great
metal.
guys too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great
great.
guys.
Yeah, they're solid people.
Yeah.
So was it
solid
like
dudes.
the venue shut them down? Or?
Yeah. The manager came up to me, and
Yeah.
I was just there running the
You're just running
soundboard.
sound.
Yeah, so, don't talk to me. Talk to Carmelo, because
Right,
Carmelo
right.
was the guy, producing the whole show. Carmelo happened to be out for a smoke at the time, so nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And then, it was,
That's
It's so
unfortunate.
the set
unfortunate.
got cut short. So
Because as soon as they got on, first song they played, I was like immediately hooked onto
Yeah.
them, and
And
when
everybody was headbanging and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I think the owner just didn't like it. You know?
Yeah.
What I
could
mean?
be.
Because I looked around the room and man, there's
Yeah.
some older folks that were like,
Yeah,
wow,
banging their
they're
head.
bobbing their heads and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
Like,
Carmelo
yeah.
usually does hip hop. He's a hip hop DJ. So
Yeah, we
if-
talked about that.
when he plays at Ouroboros, it's hip hop. So that's probably what they were expecting.
Yeah,
Right, right,
knowing
right.
that he's putting on something.
Then
Yeah.
you get the
Complete
hardcore
opposite.
heavy metal and the psychedelic punk metal.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it was
funny.
still a great show. They had what was it? The acoustic girl at the beginning.
Yeah,
They had a
that's-
couple of great
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Natty
Some
Physicist
rapping,
came out.
Great artists.
Did a set there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it was
think
awesome.
Felix Ranchero did a Spanish set.
Right.
Did a Spanish
Yep.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Chris.
Chris was up there.
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Wang.
came up
Yeah.
from We Have Music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, our guy Chris.
Yeah.
And Gavin came up there.
Yeah,
It was a
Gavin
good
too.
time.
And Gavin's gone. Shout out to you
Shout
in
out
Japan,
Gavin.
brother.
Hope you have fun out there, dude. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Gavin came out on one of Yenny's other show, Jennifer Strong, who is the executive producer for this show. And apparently, you're return visitors here. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
Yeah.
you've been on
we
with
love
Jennifer.
Yenny,
dude.
man. She's like one of our biggest fans.
Yeah, Yenny's
Yeah,
the best.
she is.
Yeah, yeah. So she's the executive producer. I'm only here as the host, and Yenny's not available.
that's
But
all right.
glad to have you guys back.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
We're glad to be here. For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to talk a little bit about your instrumentation. The stuff that you're playing.
All right.
Sweet.
But let's have a listen to something that has a unique Rottweiler sound. What do you recommend?
Go for the scream.
The screen.
Scream.
This
Yeah.
Scream.
Yeah.
Okay, that's off. Is that an early album?
It's one of the singles.
Yeah.
There's 2 songs on the single. It's just called The Scream.
Yeah.
It should be like a cover.
A green album cover.
Yeah. Not hard to find. There we go.
There it is.
The Scream. That's the Rottweilers in the studio with me on CKMS Community Connections. There's a scream in there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And the guitar in the middle bit there too. You know, that's it's screaming.
Yeah.
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 It wails a lot
Yeah.
high end. His pedal setup.
Yeah. I got that Russian big muff. Yeah.
So what is it you're playing on stage?
Well, we kind of have a lot of line changes too. Like I'm usually on the drums, but sometimes I'll come out and play guitar, and then Mo will swap out on the drums.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And then
Yeah.
we'll switch like who sings, right? Our rule is if you write the lyrics, you're singing.
You get to sing it.
song.
Oh yeah.
And that's how
You're responsible for your own creativity.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But talking about vocals, you had the most interesting instrument on the stage at Ouroboros, a telephone handset. Okay, so it sounds different. I'm being
Yes.
polite here. You know, it sounded awful.
Yeah. Yes. That is the point. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
why?
We just like the rock.
Honestly, yeah, I was just inspired by like a lot of those early, late '90s, early 2000s like garage bands that have like just like the high mids for their vocals or like that really like megaphone effect. And there's even some bands too. I think the Coach Whips I know for sure use a telephone, and maybe the Microphones.
Oh, yeah.
The band the Microphones I think use a telephone. And yeah, it's just that sound, that style, you know, that vibe. It's great.
So why not use a good microphone and then add an effect to just filter that down to the narrow band?
That's a good question. It's just the practicality. Like we could just either bring a telephone or we have to, you know, interface with the sound guy and then tell him how to do his job and, you know, all that kind of
Okay,
stuff.
I'm figuring maybe, you know, we could run the mic through a pedal or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I guess theoretically you could, but it's easier to get that nasty sound without, like, if you ran it through a pedal, you might risk like overdriving it too much, and then it's like a
suppose.
feedback disaster and all that kind of.
And then if we just used a regular mic, Bob, we lose our one and only gimmick.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We
And
have to quit.
It is a good gimmick.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah, man.
Every show we play, people are like, "What the heck is that?"
Yeah,
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
yeah. And you switch up drums. I didn't see you do that at Ouroboros,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, once in a while we do it because a
Sometimes we
couple of
do
the
it.
songs that he wrote for guitar.
Yeah. There's a few like on the same demo or the same single with the scream on it. I wrote that one on guitar, so every time we play, it's called Acid Frenzy, the other song on that on that single. We play that and we do a little line change there, and then one song on our demo called "Lost in Suburbia Hell."
Yeah.
We also
Classic
do a
tune.
little, we do a little line change there. So I'll come
Yeah.
up on guitar, he'll go on the drums.
Just those two switch. I stick
he
to
stays
my
on
zone.
the-
Yeah,
I stay in
yeah.
my lane.
It's
It was-
fun.
yeah.
It's a fun switch up every once in a while. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah. Completely different skill set required there. I mean, guitar and
Yeah.
drums are nothing alike.
Right. I used to play drums in another band before this band, and he used to play guitar
just-
mostly, right?
Yeah, I play a lot. I mean, drums is my main instrument, but I also just taught myself guitar and like a little bit of bass
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
Because I mean,
3
like-
separate death metal
Yeah, like
projects.
Yeah, he
do
does
my
it
own
all.
solo projects and
He
stuff.
does it all, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
I kind of figured like, you know, instead of waiting around to find a band, I was like, okay, I'll just teach myself these instruments and record
Yeah,
them all
man.
myself.
You got
So
all
now,
the,
now we can do cool line changes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, man, that was a cool line change there. Man.
Yeah, we saw Mooch do that too yesterday. That was awesome.
They would do that
Mooch
too.
swapped out bass and guitar players for a bit. That was cool.
Yeah, I gotta get my chops up.
That was
dude.
cool.
That was crazy.
so two you were wearing Mooch t-shirts. Tell me about Mooch.
Yes.
How was the show?
They were amazing.
They're
man.
awesome.
They-
We're from Montreal.
From Montreal.
Okay.
They play like stoner rock, sort of doomy stuff.
Okay, I can get into that.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really good, man. Their new album just dropped last night at 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We got the
Me
record
and this guy
actually
bought it on
before,
record.
yeah.
Okay.
We
Well,
listened to it
listening to
before it dropped, like 2 minutes before it dropped last
Gotta
night.
see if I've got some contact info for them and get them on the radio too.
Yeah, you should.
For sure, man. They're really good.
You like the Doors at all?
Doors are okay, yeah.
This guy's got a voice just like Jim
Yeah?
Morrison.
Yeah, he's
man.
really good,
Oh,
yeah.
That's a
okay.
very good. Yeah.
It's got that edge
Very
to
good
it.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man,
Okay.
big time.
Good
My-
comparison.
my
Not
musical
as
change-
crazy.
My musical tastes have changed over a few years. So
Oh,
you know, we used to
course.
start off with the synth stuff, synth pop was the thing, then jazz for a while.
Hey, did you ever listen to Neil Young's synth album
No.
from the
Which one is
80s?
that?
It's from I think it's from 79. It's trashed. It's brutal,
I
man.
won't even bother. That.
That's hilarious.
And the really cool thing about doing stuff on the radio is that I get all kinds of music coming in now. And
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
It's just tremendous to hear what is out there. So much talent. And
Lots.
so little of it gets any mainstream airplay.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the
dude.
sad
Yeah.
part,
Yeah.
man. That's the sad part.
Pop music sucks, dude. I don't like it. It doesn't suck. It depends what era of pop
yeah.
music we're
Depends,
talking.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Today's stuff, I can't really get behind. But if we're going 70s, 80s pop music, that's it gets a little funky in there with the grooves
Yeah,
and the
they have-
bass
They have
lines
cool
and the
grooves.
yeah.
I definitely agree
I just
with
think
that.
because the internet, everything has their own corner now. So something like radio, it's they're only gonna get a certain percentage of the best of the best, the most
Exactly,
popular.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's trendy?
Yeah.
What's big now in the
Yeah.
social media scenes and whatever this and that. Yeah, that'll get airtime on the radio.
Part of the trouble there too is that there's really only 3 or 4 radio stations, the mainstream ones left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all got the same playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Exactly.
3 or 4 of everything left, man. Corporations too,
Yeah.
everybody owns everything,
Yeah. Which is too bad. So, how do you avoid the corporate influence?
We stick true to our roots.
Yeah, we stay DIY. We're not gonna
Yeah.
sign
Yeah.
labels or nothing like that. We'll collaborate with companies and stuff if the opportunity presents itself, but we're never gonna sign ourselves away to
Okay.
nothing because
Own your own material.
Literally,
Yeah, absolutely,
man.
yeah.
Own your own
Or else,
shit,
what's the
man.
point? You know what I mean? It
Exactly.
just
I think-
becomes a regular job. It's
Yeah.
you don't own anything of your own expression.
And
So many
what's
of the
the
people
point?
that went mainstream are now having to buy back their own music.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Didn't
That would
Taylor?
be
I swear Taylor
terrible.
Swift had to
Yeah.
redo all of her masters or something
she
like
did,
that.
yeah.
The
It's
Beatles.
crazy.
The
The
Beatles didn't own their
I
own
was going to
stuff.
mention that too.
Yeah.
They had to buy back their own
They
stuff.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Imagine that,
wow,
like-
dude, all these bands back in the day are just having to buy back the royalty. That's wild.
Yeah,
man.
I think it means too much to
They'll
all
get
3
you
of
if
us.
you're not careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
man.
Like the band and the music kind of means too much to all 3 of us
Oh, dude.
to actually go that way because
Yeah.
the risk of having to buy back our own songs would
Devastating.
Absolutely
I'd rather
suck,
be
man.
broken homeless playing with these guys.
Well, yeah. I mean, at
Me
that
too.
point, if you're gonna go through that, you might as well just have a a get clean cut, and just get an
and get
office
an
job.
office
You
job.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just-
a day to day.
Stifling.
Another
Yeah. So if you're doing do-it-yourself band, how do you get the EPs published? How do you
We
or
go through
produce
all
the
our-
ourselves, man.
Do it all ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, we record it, mix it, master it, and then we go through DistroKid to upload it on Spotify and whatnot. Bandcamp
Okay.
has its own separate thing. You can just kind of upload things there
Yeah.
through the
Bandcamp's
website.
the best.
Yeah, we
Bandcamp's
can't really
awesome.
justify paying people to do shit for
Nah,
us at
it's,
the moment.
it's easy to
right?
do it
So-
yourself. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
just do
we
it
all
yourself?
these two. I ended up dropping out. I just wasn't feeling it. But we all met at Metalworks in Mississauga, which is
Yeah.
an audio production school.
Okay.
And these two followed through all the way and graduated and stuff. So they got a good wrap around all that. You know what I mean? I just showed up because I was from Stratford and I was like, I need more people with music, man. So I just showed up, joined a band, and I was like, hey, this is cool. And that's
Yeah.
all I needed from it too. As soon as I got in the band, I was like, you know what, school.
Yeah.
Seems like
School
that.
has served its purpose. It's accomplished the goal.
Exactly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's probably the best thing that came out of that whole experience.
Yeah,
there.
man. This band is technically, because we all went to school, it's a through all our tuitions, it's a $60,000 band.
Ah!
Oh yeah, God.
Yeah.
That's funny to think
true.
about.
Get some bands that can't even do a single gig for 60,000.
That's where we started.
So what's your recording setup like?
Oh, we have, I guess.
We either the demo we recorded at his place in his basement,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then the album that we're in the process of mixing right now, we recorded in my basement. So it's basically just like we have our 8 mics on the drum kit. We mic up the guitar amp and bass amp, and then we just play live off the floor, hit
Yeah.
record, and that's basically it.
We
Yeah,
don't
We
have-
originally had it on a 4-track Tascam.
yeah, we
But-
used to,
Okay.
we
Like
used
the
to
Yeah,
set.
I'd use those, yeah.
cassette
Um,
player, yeah.
But I guess because it was left in the garage for an extended period of time,
Oh.
some of the damage
I
came
think
to the
it damaged
tapes.
it a little bit.
So
yeah, which
then we
is
just went back to
unfortunate.
digital. Whatever.
Now I gotta fix that thing.
We'll just master it through a tape.
Easier to edit that way too.
Yeah.
The sets
Yeah.
are miserable to edit.
Yeah, I
A
know.
whole album.
I don't even
Yeah.
think we were planning
We
on
were-
editing
we weren't
it.
even
We were
planning
just
on
gonna put it
editing.
out as
We were
yeah.
just gonna try to get the
Raw
best tape
tape.
possible
Yeah.
and go for it.
yeah.
Rottweilers live off the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Pretty
That's how it
much.
goes. Cool.
Yeah, man.
Maybe down the road that'd be cool. I don't even.
I
think
got
we
the
have
reel to
those
reel, man.
recordings, so
I do
maybe-
have those recordings. The
Yeah.
OG, yeah, the cassette ones, yeah.
Maybe
Some
down
of
the
them sound
road
really
we'll
good.
release them as like.
I was lucky enough that I found a 16 channel half-inch reel to reel for like only $1,000,
Yeah.
and we're gonna try to
man.
utilize that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sebastian
I'm
Bach
excited
used
for
it
that.
from Skid Row.
Yeah,
apparently he-
yeah. When I bought it, the guy that sold it to me told me he used to work in the '80s as an engineer, and
Okay.
supposedly Sebastian Bach
All right.
recorded on it. So
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
cool.
Shout out Skid Row.
Yeah,
Cool. Yeah. So probably well-maintained equipment if you're a
yeah,
professional
yeah.
sound engineer.
It's in really good
Yeah.
condition.
It's a
Yeah.
gem, man. It's a gem.
All right. Looking forward to hearing something coming out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Excited to record on it.
Yeah. So talk about recordings. What else can you let me listen to that showcases the recording capabilities of the Rottweilers?
I think you should throw up the off of the demo Haunted Corridor.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
yes,
pretty
yeah,
wild
yeah.
sound.
Yeah.
I bit heavy.
It's it's pretty gnarly sound.
Nice.
This one we re-recorded for our upcoming album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So there'll be a cleaner version coming,
Yeah.
or semi-clean.
Cleaner as in different lyrics, or cleaner as in
No,
no,
more
cleaner
pure
as
sound?
in sound.
a little
more
bit of
audible.
yeah,
You know?
better production.
Yeah, we
Okay.
really slammed it with compression and distortion.
Yeah.
on this
Man, we take our mixes and throw them in a microwave.
Yeah.
You know?
one. That was the original plan. Yeah.
We just completely drop a nuke on the mix, and then that's it.
All right. Have a listen to that, Haunted Corridor by the Rottweilers.
Oh yeah, a little celebration at the end there.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, man.
He's
Okay.
the werewolf from Bond. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bit of country punk metal there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
exactly.
First thing I noticed was the twangy guitar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's Mo.
That's
Yeah,
Mo's
man,
guy,
that's like I love Johnny Cash. I love Charlie Feathers. I love all that kind of good old country stuff. Not the newer stuff, not so much, pretty much at all. But all that old stuff, I love. Elvis too, man.
Yeah. CRTC has a whole category for that. Country music for the 1950s or 1950s and earlier.
Exactly,
Yes.
The good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
Old time country.
The great stuff. Yeah.
Not quite with the overpowered guitars in there, I don't think. I mean, that wasn't the thing back then.
Right. Yeah.
It didn't.
That's
it wasn't
after.
supposed to be the thing.
You gotta make a hole in a
supposed to be
speaker
raw,
cone for that.
you
Yeah.
It's cool. It's another segment over on the genre dial.
Yeah. I think that was the original idea of the sound, and then it just
Took off for you.
Yeah. That's probably one of the first songs I did. Yeah.
How does it get received when you're playing to a punk crowd, a metal crowd?
People like it.
People like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's like when you're there listening to it. I feel like for the audience, anyways. I don't know because I'm on stage playing it, but it's like just all around a fun time for everybody.
Yeah.
It's got that like you can dance during
you can
the
jump
verse,
around, dance,
and the chorus hits, and you can just
You
start
can start moshing.
Yeah.
And we've seen it. We've seen people mosh to that song before, man. It's funny.
Yeah.
I can imagine it. But I don't think you're about to be the headliner act at a country bar.
No.
Maybe not, yeah.
I mean, that would be cool if we could countrify all of our songs, but I don't know if that's happening.
Well, no, there's something.
Right.
Released 3 or 4 different albums in the different styles. The country style, the death metal style.
That's kind of what we did with the song called "The Dog Walk." Is another version of that song, but it's slower and more twangy and more on the countryside.
We essentially just countrified the Haunted Corridor song.
Yeah. I mean, it's still pretty punk sounding though. It's still got the telephone and all that, but
It's just a little slower.
We did that in the studio when we did Desert Caravan, right?
At Eardrum
Yeah.
Valley.
Yeah, it was like another outtake. We had some extra time, so we just recorded a different version.
Okay. When you're putting this stuff together, when you're creating the EP, the album, how do you decide what goes where? Who takes the lead? Who pops up at the end?
We all kind of just decide based on what we think works. Like, I don't know. Sometimes there's certain songs where they just stick out like a sore thumb. You're like, okay, this maybe should just be put out on its own, or it's like a different, because the way we wrote it or the way we're gonna perform it is just kind of different. It feels different. And then there's always like those core songs that are like, okay, like these all kind of have a flow. We can make this work in a track list, and like it's similar enough. If we record it the same way, there'll be a certain glue to it.
Yeah, I don't think we're like I don't think we're like a concept album kind of band,
No.
I don't think we'll ever have a concept album.
Like for a
it's usually
sound,
just
but like for like
Maybe for an
it's
idea.
usually just a mix of songs. It's like releasing like rappers releasing mixtapes,
Pretty much, actually. Yeah, you're right.
That's a good way to put it.
You're definitely not wrong. Yeah.
Mixing your own stuff, though.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
How about the creative process? Collaborations between a lot of you, or you each go off into a room by yourselves and write the music, the lyrics?
It depends, because we all live in different cities.
Yeah, we live.
He lives in Kitchener. Claudio lives in Kitchener.
Yeah.
Jesse lives in Stratford. I live in Vaughan. So we all come up with ideas like independently, and then we usually drop them in like a Google Drive or something. And then next time we jam, we
just
kind of
work
be
on
like,
it.
yeah.
So what is there to drop into a Google Drive? I mean, just the drum track?
No,
how do you work that
we
out?
all-
We do
we're
little
all
scratch
raw.
tracks, little
do.
demo tracks.
Yeah, little bed tracks. Like I'll record like a guitar and a drum track, or like create a drum track on my computer, record guitar over it, drop it in the drive, and then next time we jam, we'll all like kind of collaborate and work on that idea.
So you haven't actually built anything remotely,
No.
Somebody drops the drum track, then somebody else adds.
No, that's all done together. This is just more like hey, check this out.
Okay.
Maybe just practice with your instrument on it or whatever.
It's like a quick idea that you have, just to get it out there, and then bring it to the band when we
get together.
and
Yeah.
play.
Right.
Yeah, like so for like example, like when I do a song at home, I am not a drummer, so I'll have programmed drums, but I'll just keep them like as basic as possible, just like kind of like a metronome with bare minimum fills, and
Which
I
is
send it
perfect
to
for
them,
me.
and then Claudio can just like whatever the heck he comes up with in his mind. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of room for him to, because it's just
to flow with it.
So that just, yeah, man. And same with Mo. I will never add like. There's been a couple songs I've added like guitar solos on top, but I'm always just like, dude, take it away, do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so we do like loose structure.
I like adding on your stuff though. When
Yeah,
you give me like
yeah,
a solo line or a lead line, I like to
Yeah.
kind of just like take it somewhere else too, you know?
which is kind of, which is like
Yeah.
respectable, because it's like,
Yeah.
hey, you still
Yeah,
admiring
yeah.
what I'm
You
doing.
keep
there.
like the root of your idea, but then you
Yeah,
fix it
absolutely. Yeah.
That sounds like
absolutely.
jazz. That's
It
how
takes
jazz
it in a
works.
mode right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like we're very loose about a lot of stuff like that. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, when we come up
Big
with
time.
stuff, there's no like set kind of thing. It's always kind of like, oh, this is cool. It's just on the fly, you know. Even live sometimes there's a little bit of
There's a little bit.
improvisation and stuff like that.
Cool.
A little bit of on the fly
Most of the
stuff.
time, we just come up with a set like a minute before we're on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think
Yeah,
it keeps
yeah,
it fresh,
man.
you know, because when you there's certain things that when you plan it's good, but then there's certain things that when you plan it kind of just hurts like the nature, like the energy of the performance. You know what I mean? It kind of
Yeah.
ruins it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of nice to leave it open ended in some ways.
When you come up
much
with when you come up
living
with something that works, though, you want to hang on to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
there have
definitely.
been times where we've come up with set lists and we're like, this is sick, and we've gone back to that set list.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We do repeat a few sets sometimes, but
Yeah.
most of the time it's just like, okay,
What
what
are
are we
we
doing
feeling?
tonight? What are we?
Yeah,
What are we feeling?
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
just-
Yeah, it depends how we're feeling. That's how we determine
Yeah.
what we're gonna
Alright.
play. Yeah.
And it also kind of depends on like the bands that we're playing with, because like
Okay.
if it's like a really hardcore like punk bands that we're playing with, we'll try to do like all of our really fast like ripping songs, like the punk songs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's more of a mellow lineup, we have like a few songs that are just a little slower.
Yeah, there's a few in
So
there.
we'll throw
Yeah.
we'll throw a few of those in there, which is nice for me because it gives me a break on the drums.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
not dying, you know.
Yeah, there's some sets
Yeah.
that was just like pummeling
Just,
the
like,
whole time.
Yeah, like last night was just by the end of that set, man, I was dripping.
Keeps
sweat.
you in
I
shape.
just-
Yeah.
it does.
It's like burn
That's why I like drums.
15,000
Yeah.
calories.
Yeah.
He's an Albanian beast
Yeah, like-
because of the drums, brother.
Yeah.
How about adapting to what the audience is expressing? You know, if you see the audience just sitting there like wooden statues, got to do something about that.
I don't really give a shit.
I don't
Yeah.
think
If you
really
like
care.
it or you don't, cool.
You know, I feel
man.
like we rock pretty hard. If you can't get into
Yeah.
it, then it's just not for you, and that's fine, you know?
That's
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give it 110% every night. Like we're always just headbanging. This guy's like jumping off stage. and
Yeah.
Shit. This guy's going
All those,
hard.
sometimes you can kind of ask everybody, like, come closer, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
get into it, you know? And they usually do, so.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
don't
It's got to be different when you're with a group than if you're just a solo artist, you know, sitting in the corner.
Oh, I can only
Yeah.
With
imagine
the
that,
guitar.
man.
Yeah. I
Nah,
wonder
I
how
can't
people
even
do that,
imagine
man.
that.
I mean, I guess it could be cool, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's like comedians, man. I can only imagine the pressure those people feel just being
Like,
one
no
man
doubt.
on a stage, even just one man and a guitar, dude.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a lot of
It's a
pressure.
lot.
Dude, that's insane,
Yeah,
dude.
me
Like,
too,
rock
man.
on, man.
Yeah.
Do your thing, but
So when you're up there as a group, as a band, you kind of have your friends to
It's
like back
easy.
you up, and then you feel a little more confident
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
One man,
yeah, if
one
the crowd's
guitarist.
not doing anything, I'll turn around and look at Claudio because I know
Yeah,
he's
I'm
He's
always, I'm
into it.
always going at it. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't even think about that kind of stuff, though. I just sweat it all out.
Yeah.
You know?
Me neither. I just go, man. I
Yeah.
just do our set, have
You
as
know?
much fun as possible, and like sometimes I'll look up and people are going crazy and moshing. Sometimes they're just
Well, that's good. So
sitting in the back, whatever.
it's not a job. It's
No,
the
not at
fun
all,
thing to
man.
do.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's how we try to
keep it pure, you know? Because
Yes,
once you start thinking of
exactly.
stuff like that, I feel like it eventually infects the music that you make. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
totally.
Well, that'd be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would suck.
You don't want
You know what I
musical-
mean?
You don't
It's
want a
like
musical infection.
it's good to be conscious of those things, but if you're like too much into it, then I just feel like it's more harm than good, you know?
Yeah.
Once it becomes business, man, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
shit. You gotta take a step back and remember to have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Got to be some business associated with it, though, since you're
You
doing it all
do, though,
yourself.
right?
You know?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. There's always a
Especially
business
if you
side.
want to like we always say like we don't give a shit if we don't get anywhere, but we would like to be able to just like make a
At least
living.
make a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Be able
yeah.
to survive off playing shows and stuff.
Even just
so
pay off a few bills. That'd be cool, man.
That's where you got to kind of like, you know, be like, okay, there is a business. out
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
And we do need to respect
Take it a
that
little
and treat it
seriously.
as
Oh,
so,
for
you
sure.
know, but-
Yeah.
So is the music paying for itself? Are you making enough off the gigs and the album sales to sustain the music?
No,
Maybe
no.
not.
Not at all. No.
So there's the day
music,
jobs.
The music industry, yeah, man. Everyone's
Yeah.
got day. I do some landscaping. He's in a factory. He runs sound.
Yeah, we all got
somewhere
our day
else,
jobs,
so.
man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, all the money we make from whatever merch sales, shows, whatever, we just put it right back into the band and
Yeah.
pay for more merch or pay for gear or whatever we need for the band. You know?
Yeah.
So we kind of have like a band fund.
We got a good little
band
pool
bank.
built
The
up.
band
Yeah.
bank. Yeah. The
yeah.
Roddy's
Yeah.
bank.
Yeah.
And if it takes off and the music becomes self-sustainable, do you have ideas
I'll
of
quit my job.
just like that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's the way to do it. You know, that's
Yeah.
got to do the stuff you love to do.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
All
want to like. It's not even really about like for me, anyways. Not about money or nothing. I just want to like. It's almost like a vehicle to get out and explore. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it can take you
Yeah.
places you never thought you would go.
Absolutely.
Yep, exactly.
Shit like that,
Absolutely.
you know,
I want
so-
to adventure, explore, and just
Even if it stays in Ontario, man.
Even that,
Ontario's
yeah.
pretty big, man.
There's
Yeah.
lots
Yeah,
of
we just
places
got back
we
from
haven't
Ottawa,
been.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was,
was
I
pretty
think it was
cool.
all of our first times, unless
Yeah.
you've been there.
I've been there twice.
Oh, yeah.
Just
So it
as
was
like
me
a
and
kid.
Mo's first time there.
Okay.
It was a really
Never
cool
been
place, actually, we went
So you've
to.
got the day jobs. How can you take the time off to just, go gallivanting in Ottawa?
It was a
It
weekend,
was a
so-
weekend.
I'm pretty lucky. I'm a freelance AV, so
Okay.
I could basically just set my schedule around it as much as I can,
All right.
And I try not to compromise.
Same for landscaping?
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I just do my own thing, man. There's like a couple rich people I work for,
Ah.
and that's about it. They pay me
Alright.
nicely to take care of the yards and stuff.
Okay.
So cool.
At the factory, the 9 to 5, the 8
Yeah,
to 4.
I don't work overtime, so I just keep the weekends for like potential shows
The weekends
or
are for music.
just to work on music or do my own thing. Sometimes I'll book a day off here and there. Like
Okay.
today, I probably should have booked off because last night we played a show and
Right.
I went to bed at like 1 or something
Probably
like that. I
by the
woke
time
up at
we
4.
unwind, right?
Yeah, so I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep.
Oh, man. And you've put in a day of work today, too.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got back
he
home
was
at
in the
like
factory
1:30.
this morning.
yeah, that's the hustle, man.
Yeah.
Well, dedication there.
Oh, yeah, man. You have to
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
Want to play another song?
Sure.
And I want to play Death Train.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Okay. It's yet another genre switch up.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. We got a lot of them.
We'll get into that.
Nice one
Good
shot.
stuff. You guys would make it in any blues bar.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You were telling me about the guitar that you had in this. What happened there?
Oh yeah, okay. So I have an acoustic guitar at home, and what I used to do a lot when I was experimenting running the acoustic sound through the pedal board, I had a Strat pickup, a humbucker, and I would just tape it to the sound hole, and just below the string so it wasn't scraping the string. So you
Okay.
basically get a functional pickup out of it if you plug it in. And so yeah, I ran that guitar through my pedal board, through my tube amp, and then I just found that it was like you get all the power and all like the clarity, but it's not super harsh as
Okay.
some of my other electric guitars kind of sound. So for songs like that, it's perfect.
Yeah. And then, I see what's happening there. Somebody at the
yeah.
door. Talk amongst yourself for just a second. I'll grab the door.
All right.
Right, yeah. Death Train.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
yeah, that sound.
Oh,
haven't done that in a
you
while.
got locked out.
Yes, that's the difficulty with having a locked studio door. But,
Hey, man.
Ah, dude.
Got locked up.
I got locked out there. My locked up.
and you're talking about redoing Death Strain for the upcoming album.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
re-recorded it.
We have it re-recorded, yeah.
I added some harmonica to it. I feel like it, there's
Tons
a place
of
for it in
guitar.
that song. There's a place for harmonica.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, the blues is harmonica music.
Yeah.
Harmonica music is the blues.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's wild, man. He picked up the harmonica. I don't know how long you've been messing around with it, but like seriously, he picked it up like just a few months ago,
Yeah.
and he's getting wild on that.
I mean, I'm not that
Yeah.
crazy. It's just
It's
basic
pretty good,
stuff,
though.
but you know.
Hey man, I tried
You got
messing
good
around
melody,
with it.
like-
It's
Yeah,
like,
well, it's
wow.
just Little Walter. I listen to Little Walter. I don't know
Oh,
if
there
you
you
heard of
go.
Little
Okay,
Walter.
yeah.
He's like some old blues harmonica player.
Okay.
Every song is
Good
just
stuff.
amazing. It's just great sound, great everything.
I got to learn harmonica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
harmonica's the best, man. It's just the world's most portable instrument.
Yeah. We do want to get into like eventually. I want to try like some rockabilly stuff with these guys. You know,
Okay.
I want to get into like stand-up bass a bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
like
The upright
shit like
bass.
that.
Wear some suits and a bow tie. And shit,
Yeah,
and all that,
yeah,
man.
mohawks, whatever.
Suits, bow tie, and a war hawk.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
That'd be
Liberty
pretty cool.
spikes.
Alternate identities, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Staffordshire gentleman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we want to eventually try that stuff, but an upright bass ain't cheap. So
No.
Yeah.
No, I can imagine.
No, yeah. And
Don't really want to go out and rent stuff either, because you're going to get something different every time.
And we might break it.
spill
Yeah.
something on it,
Yeah, we
break
might-
it.
Yeah.
We're pretty.
It happens a lot.
We're not like we treat our gear like garbage. You know,
Kinda.
we like our gear and we appreciate it, but it's like in the end they're just kind of almost like toys.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
like a
will,
toy.
you know what I mean? Like you're just having fun with it, you
Yeah.
know. So it's
Yeah.
like, well,
And
yeah.
stuff happens. You know, we drink a lot of
suppose.
beer, so spills
And I
are
imagine that
inevitable.
you're playing them pretty hard too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly,
yes,
yeah, we-
definitely,
Oh,
man.
there's
I
been
break a
almost-
string almost every
Pretty
single
much
time.
every practice.
Every pretty much all the time. I'm always breaking strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think last night was like the first show in
A
quite
while.
some time
Yeah.
that he didn't snap a
Yeah.
string.
Yeah.
So what do you do? I mean, you're missing a note. You're missing part of your instrument. How do you deal with that?
You just gotta.
I tell
it's
shitty
it's
jokes
all by
while he
chance.
changes his strings.
It depends, if it's like in the middle of the song, then I'll just make it work. I'll go to the lower octave or the higher octave and just keep the
Okay.
song going, Or if it's like, if I have a moment, we finish the song, then I always carry strings with me because of this, and I just try to quickly put it on. Yeah.
You don't have an alternate guitar you can just swap out?
I do. I already bring another guitar because I have two separate tunings that I
Oh,
use.
okay.
So it's just kind of strenuous to bring another
Three.
two just as the backup
Right.
for those two. So it's just kind of like, I got to have my string game locked down.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the time you're into that level of stage presence, you'll probably have roadies and managers and
Hopefully.
people
I mean,
skimming the profits off the top.
there you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like catching butterflies, man.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just swinging left and right.
Yeah.
Album's coming out soon?
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
sometime
hopefully.
soon. We're just mixing it right now, editing it. We'll probably master it hopefully by the end of the month or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're aiming to drop it by the end of July, hopefully.
Okay.
Get it out
Yeah.
there, but life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Get
let me
busy.
know as soon as you've got something ready for airplay.
Oh, yeah,
Send it
man.
my way, and we'll stick it on the radio.
For sure.
Awesome.
Everything was recorded the exact same way. So all we have to do is get like one solid mix down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're kind of like, then it gets easier from
And it
there,
gets
right?
easier.
And
So
then you
we
can
know-
master the whole thing with the same settings.
Pretty much.
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, we might. I don't know if we'll master it to tape or what.
I kind of wanted to.
Yeah, we should
Why
try.
not?
I got the reel to reel. We can do
Yeah, I
it.
was
We
gonna
could just go
say.
straight out of an interface into
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I only learned about mixing and mastering recently. Can you tell me what the difference there is?
Oh, well, mixing is like, say you just recorded a band, you have all these tracks, right? Like for different instruments and different parts of the drums and vocals. and
16 tracks on a 16-track tape recorder?
Right, say
Yeah.
it like that, right? And then, you mix it, EQ it, compress it, make everything kind of work in its balance. Everything has its place. And then,
Stereophonic or quadraphonic, if you're still living in the 80s.
I don't even know, yeah.
We don't deal with that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
really.
not, but yeah,
It's like
and then
old stereos.
effects and stuff you want to add. And then mastering is just kind of like getting it to the right loudness and then
Yeah, it's like the final,
preparing
final
it for
touches.
like release, like on different, you want it to sound pretty consistent on multiple.
Okay, so you
Mediums.
master differently for vinyl than you would for
Absolutely,
Exactly,
yeah.
digital.
It's actually interesting how that works. I don't fully know, but I know
Never
that
thought about
there's
that.
specific guys who just specialize in vinyl mastering because it's such like a
It's a niche thing.
technical thing. Like when you cut vinyl, the waveform is literally there, so you can't have too much bass or the needle will always
Right.
knock off and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
gets pretty technical, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. I
Pretty
never
crazy.
thought of that.
Okay, and you're doing it all yourself. This is
Yeah. I mean, a couple times we recorded with some engineers, but we always mix our own, master our own.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we went to Eardrum Valley one time and did the dog
The Desert
walk
Caravan and the Dog Walk.
and Desert Caravan.
Desert Caravan. We did spirals at Oyart
Jack's-
in London.
Yeah.
Shout out
Jack
to Jack
Stewart.
Stewart.
Jack Stewart, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
He recorded us there, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a student out in London. I forget what the school was, but
Oyart.
he was just, that one. And then he was just like, I want to record you guys. Like, we have a project coming up where we have to record a band. So we
Okay.
went in there.
Yeah, and
did a
sometimes
couple
it's
songs.
nicer to have someone else record you because you could just worry about the performance
Yeah, you
and
just
just
worry
the
about
playing.
the
Since we're
music.
live off the floor, sometimes it's kind of strenuous, like back and forth.
Yeah.
I'll record,
You
you
gotta
know.
get up, record.
Yeah.
Kick a
delete it.
mic over, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
to-
Over.
I can imagine that the mixing could add some creative influence on the on the
Absolutely.
record as well.
Totally.
Absolutely,
man.
yeah.
You bring one other person into the mix, it could turn into a whole different thing, right?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
knows,
yeah.
man? So that's always.
So I can see for that reason you want to keep it, within yourselves. You don't want to have somebody else do that mixing for you, and alter the vision that you had for the
Exactly.
music.
Yeah, right.
We all- we
man,
all
but
have
there's been like a cut, like again, shout out to Jack, man. He recorded.
Yeah,
us.
Jack was good. Yeah.
He made us
he understood.
sound.
He got
it.
Yeah.
He totally
So
got
there's
it.
the odd person that like really truly does understand what this shit should sound like.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like
We
outside
kinda
of
get
us,
it,
it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, well, it's
not
just because
many.
like you don't want to tell an engineer that you're paying or whatever. Maybe they're just doing you a favor, like, hey, just make us sound bad, and make us sound harsh or whatever. It's too vague, and then it's just like, well, then what the hell you have me here for,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
might as
You're
well
like-
just do it ourselves.
Yeah, we know the vision we're going for. We know what
You know what
sound
I
we're
mean?
going for. So
Yeah. That's dropping at the end of July.
Yeah, around
yeah,
there.
hopefully, man.
Okay. What else you got planned?
We got a show
Some
in
shows.
July.
Yeah, July 18th. We got that show in Guelph. Shout out the Guelph boys.
Red
Pull up.
Papaya. So opening up, it will be a band called Antenna Sierra. Haven't met them
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
We just put them on because they sound interesting, right? And then
Okay.
we got our fellow boys, our fellow dogs, the Depper Kits. Shout out to you boys. Oh, bro, bro.
Depper Kids.
They're awesome. We play a lot of shows with them,
Yeah,
and they're our boys, man.
They're
our
a gnarly
brothers.
bunch. Yeah.
And then following the Depper Kits will be this band based out of Guelph called Local Goblin. And they're interesting, man. They get the green face paint on and all this crazy
Yeah, they're really
stuff,
cool.
Yeah.
And they break it down. They get pretty heavy and
Yeah.
wild. And
They're hardcore, man.
We got some festivals too, right?
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, we
August.
got 2 festivals in one weekend.
Odd
coming.
Fest.
One in Cambridge and one in Orano.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's
Orano.
Orono Fest, or is it Orano?
Orano or Orano.
Orano.
Whatever. it is.
Whatever, Orono or Rano. We have that festival coming up in sometime in August. I forget the exact dates on it.
I want to say like it's the weekend 22 to 24.
Yeah,
Am I
I
wrong?
think it's near the end of August.
Yeah, the
at
end of
some
August,
point.
last few weeks of August.
I will dig through the Googles and find out, stick it on the
Yeah.
show notes.
yeah.
Yeah, so we play on the Friday there, and then on the Saturday we play at Odd Whale Fest in Cambridge.
Cambridge, yeah.
And then Labor Day weekend we're playing like some music festival out in the country outside of Port Algon, up the Owen Soundway kind of, So
Okay.
that'll
Yeah.
be cool, man.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Quick look at your Instagram page,
Yeah.
which is
The gram.
the Rottweilers band, not the Rottweilers, which is pretty pictures of dogs. But,
Good looking
They
dogs.
look better
I
than
must
us,
say.
yeah. I would rather look at those than this.
and so that's one way of getting a hold of you if you want to hire the Rottweilers to.
Yeah,
Play
that's
some
probably
music.
that's honestly the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through Instagram there.
All the contact information on our website, radiowaterloo.ca/CCC for community connections. And we're almost at the end here.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having us out
Thanks,
here, man.
Thank you so much,
It's a
Bob.
pleasure, man.
It was a pleasure.
It's been great having you in.
great conversation.
And it's like an hour already.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that went
flew
by
by.
like that, dude.
Yeah. All right.
Feels like we just sat down.
Yeah.
Listening to Steve Staub playing our theme music. CKMS Community Connections is sponsored by Radio Waterloo. Recorded here at the studios of CKMS FM. Executive producer Jennifer Strong. We air every Monday at 11 o'clock, alternate Fridays at 3. Rottweilers, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Everybody again.
Take care.
Good
week.
night.
Take care.